So these dough don't have any sesame seed. It's very easy. Oh my god, so hot. Oh, this one, look at this one. Hi guys, today I'm going to show you how to make hollow donut. First, I'm going to warm up the milk, but whatever cup that you use to measure the milk, make sure that you use the same cup to measure the flour. Every cup of milk that you need 2 cups of flour. So I'm gonna make 2 portions, 2 cups of cold milk. And I'm gonna warm it up in the microwave for 1 minute. Give it a good stir first. If you put your pinky in there and you feel like lukewarm, that's good. I have active dry yeast, 2 teaspoons. And sugar, you need 8 tablespoons for 2 cups of milk. So if you're going to only make 1 cup of milk with 1 portion, then just put 4 tablespoons. So here I have 3, 4, 8. Mix to dissolve the sugar. So you can stir it for maybe about 1 minute. To activate the yeast, we can cover it and leave it for about 5 to 7 minutes. And now I'm going to mix the dry ingredients. So like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, so whatever cup that you use to measure the milk, you're going to use the same cup to measure the flour. So this way you don't need to scale your flour or your milk. So I have all-purpose flour. Oh, shoot. God. And here is 4 cups of all-purpose flour, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, and 1 teaspoon of salt. And mix well. After covered for 7 minutes, you can pour all the wet ingredient into the dry ingredients. If there any sugar, make sure you scrape it out. And also don't forget 2 tablespoons of cooking oil. I'm just using canola oil because it doesn't have too much color. You can knead it by hand, which will take you a long time to knead it, and the process is super sticky. But I'm going to use a stand mixer, and I'm going to use this type, not the hook. On speed 2 for about 1 minute. Speed 2 for 1 minute and switch it to speed 4 for 2 minutes. After you mix it on speed 4 for 2 more minutes, this dough is done. If you are using the stand mixer, it's so much easier. So all you have to do is speed 2 for 1 minute and speed 4 for 2 minutes. And if you were to knead it by hand, it's going to be really sticky because this type of dough is more softer. It's more wet. It's not as dry compared to all the other type of dough, because this type of donut, the dough has to be a bit softer in order for the dough to rise or have that hollow inside when you deep fry them. So here I don't need to take it out. I'm just gonna leave it in here, cover and let it rest for 2 hours. The dough should rise after 2 hours, especially if you live in a warm place. But if your place is more cooler, then it takes a bit longer. It may take maybe 2 hours and a half. Here is the dough after 2 hours and a half. Let's set that aside for now. I just want to show you quickly. But first we can prep this tray, and you need white sesame seed. So put white sesame seed in the tray like that. And you also need all-purpose flour. And this type of dough is really sticky. Even after you leave it for a couple hours, you don't want a lot of flour from the beginning. You only want to put a little bit. The texture should be soft. The dough should not be hard. And for now, I'm going to take a little bit out. Super sticky. That is normal. I'm not going to put too much flour on my hand because I want this dough to stay sticky. I'll tell you why in a bit. So for now, very little flour, so it's not as sticky. So now I'm going to cut it into smaller pieces. So you can cut it into like about this palm side, and now we're going to shape it. Put into your palm and pinch them together, and it's going to be sticky, and that is normal. And I'm not going to put any more flour, but then if you need, you can put just a bit, not too much. With one of this, I'm going to put more flour. Let me give you the example. So now I have a lot of flour on my hand, right? And now the dough is not as sticky. A lot of flour. I want to make sure that this piece is not sticky. So that's good. That's not sticky. And as for the other one, I'm not going to put any more flour. just hold them in your palm and just pinch them together to form the round shape. Okay, let's test it out. I'm gonna dip the one that I didn't put too much flour. And the sesame seed, they grab onto the dough. And let's use this one. This one has a lot of flour on it. And when I dip it, it doesn't grab to the sesame seed, which will make you work on it again. So there is a way that you can make it sticky again. Just pinch. Pinch it to break that dough on the outside, the flour on the outside. And then pinch both sides. So that means you're going to do the work twice because you want to put flour. Now that it becomes sticky again, now you can dip it. And as for the rest, because it's still sticky, you didn't put too much flour, it grabs onto the sesame seed. Like I said, it's not like you cannot put flour at all. You can, but just put very little. And for the one that I'm not going to put any sesame seed, then go ahead, put a lot of flour. It doesn't matter. And for the size, you can make big one, you can make small one. It doesn't matter too much. Really easy because you can put as much as flour because you're not going to put any sesame seed on it. So these dough don't have any sesame seed. It's very easy. I'm gonna make it flat. So you can put generous amount of flour. You can use a roller, press it forward, and then turn to put it this way. So it become this way. Now you're going to press forward again. So become round, and you keep on turning back and forth. And just leave it on the cutting board. And as for the thickness, it should be that thick. For the one with the sesame seed, from the beginning when you pinch it, you don't want to put too much flour because you want it to be sticky, so it can grab into the sesame seed easier. But now that you're going to flatten it, you can put as much flour as you want. Okay, I only have a few left to flatten. I'm going to turn on the heat for my oil. And for the cooking oil, you need generous amount of cooking oil because we're going to deep fry this. To test out if your oil is hot enough, you can drop in a small piece of dough. And if it float up within a few seconds, now you can lower to medium-high heat, heat 8. Put the one that doesn't have any sesame seed. Put 4. And then flip it. So this one doesn't have any sesame seed on the outside. For the temperature of the cooking oil, I cannot really tell you. So what you can recognize is when you drop in a small piece of dough, the dough should float up within a few seconds, like about 4 seconds. But if you drop it in and then the dough kind of stay there, it doesn't float up, that means the oil is not hot enough. Once you see that the dough is float up within 4 seconds, then you can lower the heat to medium-high heat. And it doesn't take that long to fry this type of donut. So here is about, I think that about 2 minutes. It's done already. And let me show you the one that has sesame seed. These one have sesame seed. So very simple, very easy. Just drop it in. After it float up, you want to make sure that you flip from beginning. Otherwise, the dough in the middle will stuck together and it doesn't like expand to make it like hollow inside. So don't wait too long. If you want it to have the hollow inside, you don't want to cook it on one side too long. So flip it every so often. Oh, this one, look at this one. Ooh. These hollow donuts look so good. These one are freshly made. It's still really hot. I noticed that the one that I don't flip too soon and I put too much all at once. Some of them, they don't expand properly. But I still want to open it and show you guys that it's still hollow, but then it kind of like flat. Like that. Oh my God, so hot. So that is the flat one. It still looks good, And for this one, earlier it's like really expand. It's really like big, but then I want to show you guys how good it is. Oh my god, so hot. Most of them, they turn out so good. It's the best when you can make it at home and you can have fresh right after you deep fry them.